I'll be going over 3 lesser known tips in Morimens. So the first tip is we can see what bosses come up in each wave, but how do I check out the boss mechanic? Well, one way of doing this is to just fight the boss and read the mechanic, but actually there is a very useful collection of guides. So I'll bring up the guide here. The Mythag compendium has many guides and resources. It has upgrade materials for your awakeners, and here I'll be showing the boss compendium. So in particular, we see over here, and then you see Arc 1, you can see all the bosses here. So this boss is called the Schizophrenic. I'm pretty sure this is an Arc 2 boss, Arc 2 Chapter 2. You open the PDF and you are able to see, oh, it has these passives. Every time you deal damage to the Schizophrenic, it loses temporary strength. It gains strength, deals damage 3 times, deals 1 big hit, and then it gains strength and ancient embers. And it repeats this on a cycle of 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. So this allows you to save time without going in game and fighting the boss first. You can plan what team you want to use for the Schizophrenic. Okay, the next tip I will show is talking about Awakener damage. So I have Gellet here, and if you go into Gellet's kit, if you go into a battle, okay, maybe I should do a higher alert so that the enemies don't die immediately. But let's do, for example, this. I have no wheels on for now, and I'm gonna use triple shackles. This is not a piece, by the way. I'm just using this to showcase. And we have Bloodthirsty Shackles. It does 1,260 damage, and this is without any base damage multiplier because I have no wheels. This means that if I get a 30% base damage multiplier relic, this will increase by 30% and increases my damage by 378. This scales with the level of my Awakener, and you can tell because it scales with 5 times strength, this is equivalent to 73 strength. However, base damage scales multiplicatively with specific multipliers on that Awakener. So let's say I go in with my actual team and I have Celestial Beast. Celestial Beast is a strike command specific multiplier, and this multiplies multiplicatively against base damage. So this increases the value of base damage relics. Other specific multipliers include Data is Flesh, which increases the wielder's command card base damage, which is again multiplicative, but it's additive with strike commands. Sorry, it's separate from strike commands, such as Hand of Oblivion. Hand of Oblivion is a separate category, so each of these is multiplicative. So if I go in now, and I do 3 shackles, this 1,339 damage is the value that I should be taking into consideration of what is multiplied against base damage. So from this I know a strength relic is more valuable for my Gellet specifically with this amount of damage amp, but this also scales more collectively with damage amplification. So if you have higher damage amplification, such as you're in a pure realm, then it might be more worthwhile to use, so let's say I replace Horla with Sire. It can become more useful to have that base damage relic instead. So here it does 2100 damage, so that means the base damage, 30% base damage relic would increase by 600 damage, and Weeping Pipe, for example, which has a 60% base damage multiplier, will increase my damage by 1200, making it by far the best general purpose relic for my Gellet. The final thing I wanted to show was the Keyflare regen formula, which might be slightly unintuitive. For example, if I look at my Tulu has 119 Keyflare regen level. But if I go into combat, I see that his Keyflare regen level is 74. And why is it 74? Because there's an obscure formula that translates Keyflare regen level to Keyflare regen. The really useful Covenant Life Drain, which increases, you gain 200% Keyflare equal to 200% of the wielder's Keyflare regen, is not referring to Keyflare regen level. However, there are some very good Wheel of Destinies that actually amplify your Keyflare regen beyond this limit. So for example, if you are using G. Murphy's wheel, it multiplies the Keyflare regen. So if I go in again, you'll notice that Tulu has about has more Keyflare regen by quite a bit. It's 87, which is 20% more than 74. So this does not run into diminishing returns, but the regular formula for Keyflare regen does run into diminishing returns. And yeah, I had some extra. I have +3 on this wheel, so that's why it wasn't exactly 120%. But yeah, this shows that these wheels have useful value. However, G. Murphy specifically only uses this on her skill and her Enlightened 1, which actually scales with Keyflare regen level, and it's one of the few things that scale with Keyflare regen level in this game. Okay, thanks for watching, and I will leave all the links to the Mythite compendium in the section below.